Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dead Unicorn. My name's Corey, and we are playing Dungeons and Dragons Spelljammer. I'd like to thank all the people out there watching, and we're gonna have a good time today with all of our friends here. Which I'll start with Keith, who plays Del
Hey,
Starwin.
yeah, I'm. My name's Keith. I played Del Starwind, a former Navy astral elf druid. Not much more to say on that.
All right.
Uh,
Moving on, we got Brenna playing Tinker.
Hi, Brenna. Just like you said. Surprising, I know. Tinker is a fairy artificer who's basically the embodiment of ADHD.
Uh, we got Spike playing Kios.
Hi, yes, I'm playing Kihos, a Gith Yankee former knight, and he is a glorious paladin whose actions speak louder than words.
And my name's Corey, and I'm playing Beetlejuice, who is he's a astral elf, he's a spacer, a ranger, and he uses a whip. And that's all the characters we have today. We usually have one more, Sarah playing Adora, but she's not here this week, which well,
She's stuck babysitting the ship right now,
yeah,
anyways.
yeah. But we do have a game master, and that's Howard.
And when last we left the remaining crew of the Weird Hammer, they had trekked across an alien world populated by amphibian and reptilian people. They managed to salvage a dwarven ship that was crashed on the side of a volcano, repair it, and head back into wild space. Their next destination was the Rock of Brawl. In the hopes of trading out their forge jammer,
Whoops.
excuse me, they had the hope of trading out their forge jammer, and while there, they also discovered that Eudora, the woman that is unfortunately not here today, has a bounty on her head placed by Ulwin Inlay, a powerful Harengon wizard. As we left, I believe they were all catching back up to the ship to talk about what all they'd learned. Unfortunately, the person that was going to receive a lot of information is just going to be NPC'd by me today. So I didn't bring my ears. My bad.
Remember, you're not allowed to kill this one,
Oh, picky.
at least when she's not here.
Hey, before we move on, I'd like to thank our patrons scrolling upper right hand corner. Thank you, patrons, for supporting this channel. If you want to support this channel, please do. It helps us out. We do role playing games all the time, and yeah, it's a fun time. You get our Discord. We have a Discord where you can chat about us and chat to us. So thanks for that. Hey, Brenna and Keith also have a podcast that they do called
Karen feeding of werewolves.
something something werewolves. I was gonna say Karen feeding of werewolves, which is great because it's October and you should listen to it because werewolves.
And witches and vampires.
There is a link to
And
it in
everything
the
else.
description below, so you can check that out after you watch us. So thanks for watching. And let's now that all of that is out of the way, we can begin.
So I don't want to reread the intro, so I'll just say that I believe they were all gathering at the ship.
Yes.
yes.
I mean, it
Indeed.
feels natural for me to introduce you and then you go right into the recap, and I get it. We do have other things we need to talk about just a little bit.
Well, you should have done that before doing the intro. But anyway, I want to go.
And all of these people, no one knows who they are, and I haven't introduced them, and it's like, who are these people? Why am I watching this? Like,
This is why you shouldn't let him speak for a little while.
we're professionals. All right. So we're back at the ship. This is the city we're in, by the way. Everybody can see this online. It's called the Rock of Brawl. This is the top side, so I assume there's an underside, like the movie Luck, where the top half is all the good luck and the bottom half is all the bad luck. And
I've
there's
never heard of this movie.
No.
What are you talking about?
Really? You haven't seen Luck?
Whenever you're done advertising,
I have no luck.
I think it's a DreamWorks movie or something. I don't know. It's a cartoon movie.
Okay, well that explains a lot.
Yeah, it's a movie called Luck, and it's about a girl who's unlucky and finds a lucky cat with a lucky coin, and then gets transported to a world of luck. And there's a luck, and it's like this. It's just like this city.
It doesn't even sound like
Okay.
a word at this
Okay.
point. You've said it so
To
many
clarify,
times.
as some of the players actually have characters that would know, that the composition of the city is definitely not like whatever the heck Corey was talking about. The bottom side of the city, there are profile pictures. People can Google up an image of Brawl Online profile, and there are cutaways that show what the propulsion system is. That the people that have settled this place have actually made a way that they can move the asteroid as they wish. But the bottom side, only if you come up from under it, you're mostly looking at rock, which be pretty dull. I mean, we could do a picture of a rock so you could have the flip side if you want to see one. But I'm not gonna.
It's mostly where the farms are, and there's some mines.
Where are the miners? Sorry, that's a Greg neck.
They're being kept out of the bars.
So Quijos is cruising for miners.
No, I'm just cruising with a ferry. That's all.
Easy mistake.
I guess that's
understand.
better. Yeah, sure. Whatever floats your boat.
It's an of-age ferry, so that is better.
I hate all of you.
Speaking of floating a boat, we were definitely hoping to find a helm that would help our boat float a little easier.
But
Yes, definitely.
I believe that they had offered to schedule someone to come out and look over your ship and see what get an estimate what it's worth, whether it's functioning. I don't remember. I don't think you specifically explained to them that you had too small of a crew to operate a forge jammer, so that you had linked it up to a small space jammer helm and worked the two together in concert. That could mean
when we
that they would look
left-
at it. Sorry, go ahead.
when we left off last time, Quijos and I had just basically met whoever runs the pick and pull place, and I don't think we ever finally settled on what we told them.
All right, so you have a contact, which I don't think, did I bring in the dwarf from Ravnica? I don't think
Possibly.
I actually did.
Yeah, because I remember it was attached to your background, so it was
Yeah.
starting from.
I remember
I know
you
that you were
asking
going to
about
meet
it.
him. I couldn't remember if I actually played him or if I just wrote down his name and who he was.
We did
I
talk for a
think
little
you just-
while, and I
Did
just
you?
want to say yes. And I remember we could watch the video. I just remember because my sales pitch was that, hey, we've got this dwarven spelljammer, and it's big and it's amazing and it's more than we need. So we'd be happy to trade it for something you had. So I was trying to my
that's-
sales pitch was it's too big for us. So that was the play.
Okay. So
Yeah, that was pretty much where we left off.
that's what I was saying, is I don't think you actually told them that you kind of, rigged it up with another spelljammer to make it work with a smaller forge crew. And if you do, because they're gonna go and look and they're gonna check it out, and when they see that, you could. I'm gonna just point out that y'all have a couple options here. You can try and say that you can unhook it and put it back as new, or you can try and sell it as a bonus. Like, hey, we modified it. Now you can have an entire forge jammer run by like one or two artists and like one person steering, which is not something a regular forge jammer can do. So you can try and sell it either way. But the question is, I guess, do you want to go back to the ship and disassemble it, or is that going to be your plan? Or is that going to be your selling point?
Any kind of disassembly or engineering technical stuff, I have no idea. I would defer to Tinker on that one.
Yeah, she would be enthusiastically telling him all about what she did. See, I ran the doodad to the B slot, and then I inserted tab A into.
Awesome. All right,
That
then.
sort of
It looks like you two will be heading back to the ship. to talk to the guy who's going to be appraising the ship. And then Dell and Ramesh are heading back as well. Ramush. So you are all gathered at the ship. You are free to speak inside your ship. Eudora is there. She is fine. So is Sano, the treasure fleet soldier that you found inside of the, I think they're called night spiders or something, some sort of scary spider thing.
Yeah.
The Miyogi ship.
How's he doing these days?
He can walk for short periods of time. He's just like, he has to rebuild the muscle mass. He was really emaciated. He was on death's door. It was one of those moments where you thought he was dead, and then he opened his eyes, and you're like, "Oh God, I'm trying not to vomit. This looks nasty. This should not be moving." So, but he is definitely looking a lot better. He can, like I say, he can get up, he can walk a little bit, and then he kind of like has to stop and like lean against stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he's eating just fine.
Good.
Well, depending on what the rations available on the ship are.
Well, I mean, there was an entire cruise worth of food here for some amount of time. Just all the crew died, so we have, or would have had, enough food for all of us, I assume.
Well, actually, if you think about it, that doubles it. I mean, you've got both stale dwarven rations and dead dwarves. There's so much food here.
No, we gave them a burial at space, I think.
Either that or you just chucked them off into the lava.
One of the two.
I seem to
Burial
remember
at sea,
somebody
either
said
way.
they cleaned out the dead dwarves. So I think they were gone before you left.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the amount of time that we took to make the repairs, we'd have done something about the bodies.
All right. So everybody's in the same room. You can share your mini adventures that y'all went on.
Well, we found out that Eudora's worth about 10 grand because she seems to be the product of some kind of a clone spell or something like this, which, by the way, means that if anything happens to the creating wizard, we lose Eudora and her mind gets completely taken over by this Ulawin inlay person. So we kind of want to be careful about that. Not sure that we can do much about it, though, and without finding the person, and I'm kind of afraid of that.
So, how much is this reward again?
You hear a piercing, shrill voice from the other room go, "I heard that."
Kind of hard not to with ears like that.
I mean,
Our bunny is our friend, not a source of income.
we could definitely find the person if we just say we have the person and then it's a trap that we put together. It's like our trap.
Somebody powerful enough to cast this kind of spell is going to defeat most of our traps.
No,
or
I
has
mean,
that
like,
much money for a bounty. I think they probably have some hired hands as well.
I
Yeah.
mean, the trap is the fact that they don't know that we're not here to turn your door over, but rather to stop them.
Do you
Yeah,
really think
no.
that somebody like that is not going to be paranoid enough to cover those bases anyway?
We do not want their attention. No.
No. I've kind of grown fond of the bunny, so I'd say do what we can to keep her around and not throw her into the jaws of danger just to try and get a couple extra coins and try and rescue her later.
No,
But
I'm
think
not.
of the ship we could
Who
get.
said I was gonna turn her over for money? That's not what I said. I said
We would be pretending to in order to set that trap, though.
exactly. I mean,
The best thing to do for her is to help her lay low and avoid attracting that sort of attention.
Agreed.
Beyond your pay grade. Isn't that what you're always saying, Del?
Yeah, pretty much. What did you guys, how'd things go for you two?
It was great. I found this thing and this other thing, and it goes boop when you push it. I could do things with it.
It goes Pating.
Pretty much. I do not know anything in real life about engineering or mechanics or anything. All I hear is whoa, 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 whoa. Like, okay.
That's okay. It's more fun this way.
It's like that Monty
Insert
Python
technobabble
sketch.
here.
It's like that Monty Python sketch. Get me the machine that goes ping.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Yep. So yeah.
Well, I
and
don't
then,
think. Go ahead.
Oh, and then she was going to be like, and then the dwarf guy, he's going to come and take a look at the ship because I told him about the thing and the stuff and give us an estimate.
I strongly recommend that he not meet Eudora.
That's a good idea. Hey, Eudora, I know of a great Jeffries tube you can hide in. It's big enough for you.
Jeffrey.
This is a fantasy world, okay? It's a Joffrey tube.
All right. She'll consent to being hidden. I'm not going to roleplay her too much because it always feels weird roleplaying other people's characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although Tink is totally going to mess with her and like do something like lock her in there, or she can set up like lights in there. So that way she can remotely like, you know, have the lights go like a little disco rave or something.
Sounds like a
Sure,
dancing
make a
light spell
tinker-
to me.
Make a Tinker Tools check.
That
You're
is
like,
absolutely
I don't
a
want you to
dancing
be
lights
bored
cantrip.
in there.
All right. So setting up the electrical lights, I'm going to say it's going to be intelligence. So, you figured it out. All right. Look at you. All right. So that's very good roll. You easily set that up with no problem.
Would she also be able to like run sound into there so that way she could also listen in on any sort of conversation?
You could, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not that difficult. I mean, the basics of it are, you know, you have copper wire and that exists already.
A speaking tube.
Yeah, just
Honestly,
because she's
that's-
messing with her doesn't mean that, you know, Tinker's not going to actually like, try to not include her.
No, just I mean, speaking tubes would be all through these ships anyway. That's how they would communicate around.
Mhm.
So if you just open the tube between the two spaces, she should be able to listen in just fine.
I could use
Oh.
my greatsword like a can opener and just put a little hole on the outside of the Jeffries tube, if you'd like.
Oh, and Tinker is going to leave her with a stuffed bunny toy.
Okay.
I'm declaring now she found it at the market and went, I know who needs this. To keep her company.
I will let Sarah roleplay a reaction to that next week.
Oh dear.
All right.
Rabbit.
So as you're doing all that, is anybody else doing anything while she's tinkering?
I mean,
It's a
what
bunny
is there
nest.
but to clean up a little bit, I guess. We're having a guest. Our
Hide the bodies. Hide the bodies. He's a dwarf. We don't want him to see all the dead dwarves.
oh, the bodies
Oh,
are
we
long gone.
spaced that, yeah.
But our rescuee, I guess, we're gonna have to. We'll get him set up, maybe sitting at a table or something like that. Get him another meal. He looks like he needs to be fed. He needs an Italian grandmother.
What's in Italian?
It's a strange breed of elf that wants to feed you all the time.
They're
There's
actually
so
from
many
Rome
different-
Space. Head over to Rome Space. You can check out the Italians.
Just roam on over.
All right. So Time will pass. Y'all clean up the ship, and Tinker will create a small hiding place. And assuming there's nothing else, there'll be a.
Our autonomes. Our autonomes.
Well, do whatever you tell them to do for the most part. They don't seem to have much in the way of like personal pastimes.
Were you able to like effect much in the way of repairs on the one?
We have doubled the output of this, and they flick a switch, and you hear the humming that you know would be killing anyone if they're touching the touching the hull.
No, that's not what I asked. I asked if our autonomes were fixed.
Yeah, we gotta.
Are you asking?
No, I'm
Are you
asking you, the
asking Tinker?
DM. I'm asking
okay.
the DM.
Oh yeah,
We've had several weeks
Tinker
while we
did
were
some work on
flying.
their faces because their casings are broken. But they what would take to actually repair them would still be in the realm of healing magic, or an amazing doctor, because it's a weird type of doctor, and I imagine for autonomes. But autonomes still require heal spells to be restored, like greater healing to put an arm back on, that type of thing, or greater restoration.
Greater restoration, yeah.
That was the spell I was thinking of.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure there's
That
some
is
gnomes
beyond
on this.
Tinker's capabilities. However, if she were to like sit around and like make an entirely new body, and when she gets I forget what level it is, but there is a level where she can like have her own like giant mech follow her around. Then she could transfer the two heads from the other gnomes on there, and it'd be a two-headed mech. That would be amazing.
No.
Well, I think it'd be amazing. I don't know if they'd be into it, but they don't really complain about much.
Right.
All right. So anyway, there is a banging. Somebody is outside. Thankfully, the thing was turned back off.
All right. Well,
I'll assume that.
Keos, did you want to go see who that is?
Yes, that should be them. I'll let the guests in, and we'll go answer the knocking.
All right. You see the dwarf that you saw before, and you also see another dwarf with him. That is, she is decked out with. She got the goggles on, and all kinds of like steampunk looking tool sets and stuff like strapped around her, and she has a clipboard and one of those weird pencil devices you saw, ready to take some notes and appraise the place. And she'll actually, as soon as you open the door, she slides the goggles on, and she has those little things that with extra pieces of glass that she slides in front of it, and then to keep changing her vision as she's looking around. Right,
Yeah.
this is Hilda. She'll be
detecting
doing the
magic.
inspection. I don't know if I said it last time. My name is Garrulus.
Garrulus, Kihos, pleasure, and our expert here, pleasure as well. Feel free to check it out, explore. There's nothing is off limits.
And
And
modified it with a cannon. Notice that when we walked up. Normally, this class of ship has a large piercing device. It's very impressive to look at. I suppose a cannon can serve. You're like
We've got
he's
one of those in
offended
the
that you
back,
changed
too.
the dwarvenness of it.
to be honest, we were lucky to get here. We just pieced it together, and the idea of slamming into something as defense seemed like we'd get one shot, really.
When it was in the condition that it was when we found it. That is.
Exactly.
The Hilda says like nothing. She's just constantly like scribbling on paper, flips a page, and continue to scribble. And she looks like she's taking very close inventory of everything she sees and writing it down. They'll ask to be taken to the forge, of course.
Right this way, and I'll explain what I know
All
as
right.
I led them there.
At one point, Hilda will stop, put a hand on Garrulus, and then she'll point up at the extra wiring that is running along the ceiling that goes from the forge towards the helm. And then she says, "Does anyone here speak Dwarven?"
I don't think so. I'm gonna double check.
Out of curiosity, since she's listening in, I will see if
Nope.
Eudora does. I think no, she doesn't. I remember what she speaks.
I do not.
Where is it listed?
You're
Languages
under your proficiencies on the bottom left, where there's armor, language, weapons, tools. Actually, it's underneath the tool section.
Yeah.
I have none, so I assume none.
You should have. I mean, you're a fairy. I assumed you had Sylvan.
Sylvan and Common, you would have for sure.
Oh yeah, like those.
And then intelligence bonus, other languages. Same as
apparently, I failed
editions.
my real life intelligence check on that one when I built her.
So all this time, Tinker's been speaking. No one ever actually understood a word she said because she doesn't know how to talk.
Even if she spoke in Common, I doubt they'd understand half the things she says.
There's that.
All right. Well, you're more than welcome to add in Common and Sylvan. We can go over your character at some other point and see if you were supposed to have any other languages added in.
You know, I know a lot of people will like accidentally do things like, oh, I accidentally took too many spells or things like that. Me, apparently I do the opposite. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize I got that too. Maybe I should add that spell too. I don't know.
Well, may I make the suggestion that that since Tinker is like hyper intelligent, hadn't picked out languages, but was able to determine enough about this ship to actually be competent with it, that she would probably know Dwarven because she'd have been able to read the writing on
if
various
she
things.
has an open like language slot, sure, but I don't know that she does.
Fairies is probably just two. What was your background?
My background is engineer.
Don't you get bonus languages for equal to your intelligence
not anymore.
modifier? No,
not anymore. You get some from your background, maybe. You get some from your class, maybe. It depends on what you play.
Weird. Okay.
So it's interesting. So from the engineer background, because it is from Ravinica, it offers a language choice of Draconic, Goblin, or Vidalcan. But that's for the setting specific. But it would be one additional language from
Well, since you
Sylvan.
have left the setting of Ravnica, if you'd like to switch it for something else, that's fine.
Yeah, I'd say Dwarven at least, because it makes literal sense and I'm not trying to take advantage of the situation.
Well, the most common engineers in most D&D settings are going to be gnomes and dwarves.
Exactly.
So I could see you definitely going for one or the other. And the gnomes here that I read about are fairly haughty, like our stuff's the best. So if you wanted to, as a non-gnome, talk to other engineers, dwarf seems a little more fitting because they're not quite as, they still think their stuff is amazing because they're dwarves, but they're not against you trying to do stuff. But now, if you're talking about their architecture, that's going to be a different story.
Yeah.
There's a reason that all their ships, for some reason, look like hammers and such.
I know that, if all you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail, but that's a little too on the nose, I think.
And that's where the dwarf is like, I don't understand why you keep saying there were problems. We already hit them.
That's why we put the ramming thing right on the front.
It was on the front. That's what I'm saying. All right. So they talking to each other in Dwarven. What you hear is basically, she said that this is not a standard. This doesn't belong here. And he said, he asked what it was. She said, I'm not sure yet. And then they just kept walking.
Oh, Tinker being Tinker. I'm almost like she almost has to roll a will check because she'd be torn between telling them, but at the same time, she doesn't want to tip her hand in case she can eavesdrop on anything else that'll benefit them later.
Tell you what, you can call it a wisdom save or an insight check if you think she'd be insightful enough to maybe grasp the politics of the situation, whether she should speak or not.
They're both -1. Yep, she got a 6.
All right, then do what you like.
So she would, because she is in it for the funsies and has difficulty focusing and does have hyperfixations. So she absolutely responds in Dwarven, telling them, oh, that's because this is the thing that I did to make the helm and the stuff all work.
All right, so you explain about the Spelljammer helm and how it's connected to the forge. And I'm going to say go ahead and make a persuasion check to impress them with your tech knowledge.
So that way I'm not accidentally slipping up and,
I mean,
calling them rude names in Dwarven.
Yeah, well, they are engineers. They can be impressed by innovation.
Sorry, you said persuasion?
Yeah. All right, it's not terrible. They look at you, and you'll notice that Hilda, more than Garrulus, really eyeballs you and listens to everything you say. And there's a slight humph sound before she begins speaking, but she's like, I don't know if I would call this an improvement. We will see how it works. But she says all that in Dwarven.
And that's why Tinker's just like, it was just to get us to civilization.
And all right, so as y'all go into the forge is a huge forge, literally, that's in the middle of the ship. I would imagine by now the coals are starting to, go out. Nobody's been actively stoking it because it's something you do when you're getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
So the fire's almost out. It's the room is still warm, but it's warmer than the other rooms in the ship, but it's not blazingly hot as it sometimes is. There's your half-finished projects of things that were being forged as the ship was flying. There's stacks of raw iron, and there's all the tools that you need to forge. It's all in there. A lot of soot. There is something that y'all would probably notice by now is that there are runes around there, and there are small holes in the ceiling, and the runes are designed to make the smoke go out the holes while the ship is flying. Essentially, it is designed so that you could be in an enclosed room that is a forge
and not giving yourself carbon monoxide poisoning.
Right. There are also large smokestacks and chimneys that come out of it as well, but there's additional ventilation for any smoke that comes out into the main room. So
this is obviously a flaw in the design of our ship. We have an exhaust port just below the main port, and it goes straight to the heart of our power supply. We need to make an entire prequel about this that explains why we have this this flaw on our ship.
A tiny mosquito might be able to take advantage of the flaw, and
or a plucky rebel.
All right, so they assess the thing. You actually did it a good job. You made a modification that they didn't currently have to make the forge accessible to a smaller unit. So they are impressed, and you socially convinced them that you were excited about the engineering difficulty of this and solving the problem, not saying F you to dwarven engineering in general. So therefore, they're actually impressed, and they begin to talk to each other. At first, for a moment, they start talking Dwarven, and then they just change their mind and begin speaking in Common, because no point in that. Someone done ruined it. And basically, She finishes her assessment, checks, makes sure everything is in working order, and your forge was in good working order. She checks the connections. There are points where she looks at it and it looks erratic, like it's not wrong, but it's excessive. Like you've hooked up cables and then you double hooked them up for no reason, or you're places that are double patched, almost as if the person did it was losing focus and then redoing things. It's weird how that is. But she makes note of it and the occasional comment. You feel almost like you are somehow a small child in an engineering school and the teacher is grading your project.
I feel like I'm back at uni again.
As you can see, it's fully functional. Kios would love to like demonstrate and just power it up by hitting on it to improve with the appearance of it. As she sees that it's fully functional.
Right, well, you could, you could start lighting the fires and start using it if you like.
I figured I thought it was like you start with just like the hammering, but yeah, just assisting in showing that it functions.
All right, y'all give them a demonstration. They'll wait, and y'all be able to perform a demonstration. Who is somebody going to actually go into the helm and put the helmet on?
Well, I figure that we're not actually going anywhere. Just that.
Okay, you
yes,
just want to watch the lights come on throughout the ship, and
plug
like
it.
there are
Plug it
some
in
lights
before you
throughout
buy
the
it.
ship already, but they will all brighten as the thing is powered up. All right, yeah, you can do that. You give them a demonstration. I don't have any cool plot hooks right now to make it not work, so I'm not going to make you roll for it. You turn it on. And she'll make more notes. Then they will agree to meet you back in that warehouse where you met them before after they finish their number crunching, and they'll talk to you tomorrow, and they'll head out. Unless there was something else you need from them. Cool. All right. So you have that set up. You know some stuff about Eudora. Is there anything else that y'all want to accomplish before we start moving forward?
So
You're in a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So just talking to the others here, when you talked to these two, was it with the intent of selling the whole ship, or what was, or just the forge, or what was the idea there? What were we going with?
Well, I figured if we could just swap out the forge and maybe pocket a little extra gold on the side, that would be the most direct solution. But depending on what they offered and what we might be able to get, I thought it best to be open to any possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. I just kind of just wasn't sure what they came in with, what expectations they came in with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't usually send the Gith and the fairy to go make decision making. We usually bring that back, and you elves have a say in it.
That is a good point.
Tinker, you're an engineer. You can make a general intelligence check, or I don't think you actually have any engineering skills other than Tinker's tools. Not a lot of the Tinker's tools. Anyone else with intimate knowledge of how ships work, especially specifically spell jamming ships?
I mean, I have vehicle spell jamming.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll work. You can make that roll.
Yeah.
21.
That's not a very good roll.
Okay. Well, I will say this to Tinker. It occurs to you that the forge is a large room in the middle of the ship. Swapping it out is not easy. It would be easier to switch ships than it would be to swap out the middle of the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the ship's design is based around the fact that it has a forge powering it.
I guess the one thought that I would have is, if we are looking at trading this one in or whichever, we should probably try and keep the other helm so that we can use it to power whatever other ship we end up getting and not have to buy a new one of those. They didn't seem to be too terribly impressed with the jury rigging that we did anyway.
No.
So
Actually, the opposite. She made her persuasion roll. They were impressed that she came up with a new.
okay, but that doesn't mean that they were impressed enough to want to keep it.
That's true.
And
Right.
They were speaking in Dwarven, so it was like we were hearing in German complimenting things, and it sounded aggressive. I'm like, oh.
Right?
It's like whenever and somebody speaks Klingon, no matter what they're saying, it's like, yes, whatever you say.
Corey, your mom doesn't watch these, does she?
No.
Right before you got here, Spike, we were talking about that, and Corey brought up the fact that his mom's German. So clearly, you were directly trying to insult his mother. Just pointing that out.
No, German people are lovely people. My ex-wife was German. And a big smile. Continuing on.
And she's your ex-wife. We get this. But yeah, carrying on. If we do want to do so, obviously we want to get as best price we can for it, because B, we'll need to get something else, get our another ship of our own that would be better suited for such a small crew. C, we should transfer the name Melina to whatever other ship we take, we end up with, because that just seems proper. And yeah, I definitely would want to hold on to the helm that we've got. Not the Forge helm, but the Spelljamming helm.
Absolutely. That I think we should definitely hang on to that, but it brings up a further question that I hadn't considered. I think we probably didn't bring them over to the portal helm. I forget what we were calling that.
We turfed that portal. We threw that into lava, did we not?
No.
No, we still have that.
Yeah, we
still have that?
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely do not want the elves to have that.
Or the dwarves.
What about the dwarves then?
Or the dwarves or whoever, yeah. But
I was like, who are the elves?
well, we were originally hired by the Elven Navy to recover that.
Because why do it yourself when you can pay someone else to do it?
Let other people die in the recovery. But I have issue, obviously, with the Astral Navy, and I don't think that I want to give them a really good direct portal to the Shadowfell. I think that's a bad idea. So
Here's the weapon of mass destruction.
yeah.
I don't want to give it to anyone when it could be sold for a lot more.
I don't want it in their hands for
Well,
whatever
that's-
price.
I respect that.
So many things are already in the hands of the Elven Imperial Navy.
Yes, well, one fewer is more to my benefit than theirs.
All right. So the current plan is get your stuff and move it to a new ship because you're gonna sell this one.
We seem to be leaning that way. Do you have any thoughts on this, Ramesh?
I don't see what's wrong with the ship we got, but if you want a different ship, I'm all right with this. This one seems really sturdy and has a portal to a death realm. And yeah. But if you want like one of these little quick ships that can't take a lot of damage, I mean I'm not.
The problem is that we don't have the people to make this one go properly.
Yeah.
It's more ship than we can reasonably handle.
Well,
We
we jury rigged it to work for us. Why can't we keep doing that?
Because we limped in.
and to keep it running. I mean, we've got that wonderful cannon, but no one to operate it because we're all engaged just to get the boat moving. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Can we get our auto gnomes up and going? I mean, they seem like if they can separate and go do two different things, that would help a lot.
We'd still need to hire on about 20 crew.
Oh, 20. Oh.
For a ship this size,
Yeah.
and for we need way more crew. If we want to keep just the crew that we've got, including the two autonomes and our new friend here, we need something significantly smaller.
I will point this out. I have no stake in this. Y'all are welcome to switch ships. But the autonomes did say they could automate some of the features of the ship. Basically, they can reduce, or in fact, they did reduce the crew requirements of the major cannon by 2, because normally it's 4. And one person each can operate the cannon, and you have an additional cannon and a ballista on the other side.
I have another idea. I have a great idea. This is a wonderful idea. We're here on the Rock of Brawl, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people here who need a lot of stuff. Like rich people. And we can go to them and be like, hi, we got a ship. We don't have enough crew. And we can be your ship. And you give us some starter money. And we get ourselves a crew. And then we can go make some money. And then pay his ass back. In some sort of like a lien on our ship or something of that nature.
I think that's a bad idea.
That's selling ourselves in an almost worse way.
Yeah.
Is it?
I like the idea of offering our services to whoever wants to pay as much as they can, but this is not a ship that we're likely to get much of a lien on to hire crew with.
Well, that's why we need a patron.
It's kind of a sell or not sell situation.
That's why we need a patron. I mean, I didn't say go to a bank and get a loan from a bank, now did I? I said go to a rich asshole and ask him for some money, and then like he can think he has his own little private army and such.
I mean, if you can find somebody and persuade them, I'm not necessarily
I don't think
opposed.
I can do that. No, I'm just a spacer. I'm just a spacer around here. I'm a ranger. I'm very good at, going from place to place and knowing the ins and outs of the outback of the stars and whatnot. But I'm just saying, if it's the money that's the problem, we're in a city. And there's lots of money here. Lots of money. And,
you're not wrong there.
And there are people who will give that money to us if we're able to, like, talk them out of it. And we might have to do something for them. So maybe we might just, like you said, we can find a job. Maybe that's all it takes. Maybe we just need to find the right job.
Find a job and keep on flying. Out of character here, Howard. Any better idea on like some kind of a visual that we can use for what the ship actually looks like? So that, because we've been theater of the minding with this, and I think that we've all got different things in our minds as to what our ship actually looks like.
I started building in Incarnate. I can show you the map that I made so far. It's just like a deck and a half. But the bottom deck is basically where the guns are, the gun deck.
Right.
I don't know if gun deck is the right word when guns weren't the common word yet. But hang on, let me go to Incarnate and I'll save it and bring it over. The thing I think I can do.
What's Incarnate?
It's a map making site.
Didn't I gift you Dungeon Craft?
Maybe.
Yeah, I did.
I'll look for that. Incarnate is what I made the map for Valanthi on back a long time ago. Okay.
Either way, the trying to using a forge helm is a complete and utter pain in the tuchus.
True.
That's honestly that's my biggest complaint about this ship. If we could find a way to swap out the forge helm for something else entirely and otherwise keep the ship intact, I would be just as happy.
But
it's sounding like
it's
sounding like that would be a lot of work.
Well, if we have to get another ship, I guess we'll get another ship.
I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of visualizing something along the lines of a Millennium Falcon that's just bigger. From some of the descriptions.
And I'm picturing something kind of like Firefly, only more cobbled together.
Well, and that's what I want to move toward, because the Serenity it wasn't that big of a ship. An equivalent would be like a Dragonfly or a Wasp ship.
I don't know. I like the little AI generated dwarven spaceship that I created on our Discord server. That yeah, it looked pretty good, but I don't know. Ooh, we got
all right. The bottom ship is there. The bottom of the ship, I should say.
Okay.
Get the next one.
Whoops.
Something happened?
Yeah.
Did you break something again?
It went out to my Roll20 account. Everybody got a sneak
Oh
peek of
my.
all of the games I've created.
Oh, everybody cheat. I don't think any of us are playing your other games. Yeah, the mid deck is there's no detail on it yet, so there's no point in sharing it. That's all I got done is the bottom. And I didn't do the mid deck because you were talking about selling the forge, and that'd be where the forge is. But imagine basically a longer version of what you're looking at, another level, and in the middle of that's the forge. Behind that would be storage.
The overall shape of the ship, though, would be kind of like a ship of the line, then, of some sort.
Pretty much. It's like a huge rectangular ship. I guess I kind of rounded out the edges on the bottom level, but it's a huge rectangle.
Okay, about how long are we looking at here? So those cannons, the cannon and the ballista, be like.
Yeah, I think I should shrink those down. They should be smaller. But yeah, the entire ship is probably 100 feet long.
Okay.
But the lower deck is probably only half that.
Yeah. So about 100 feet long. How many decks are we looking at? Like 2, 3?
There's 3 decks total.
3 decks. 100 feet. So yeah, especially if we're keeping the forge itself, we would need at least 20 more people. So.
Well, thankfully, the only encounter you had, you avoided rather than actually fought.
Right.
Which is also a shame for me. If you had just flubbed any of those rolls, I was just going to nab y'all. There was going to be a lot you could do about it.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been fun, but I have a feeling we'd have had our heads handed to us.
Hey, I'm just saying, you get in horrible scrapes with bad people, you get to loot them after.
It's true. It's true.
You might have had a
Assuming
whole
we survive.
you would have had a whole arsenal of clown themed magic items. It'd have been great.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Tinker would go around wearing black and red and carrying a giant mallet.
That would clash with her coloring horribly.
I do see her with the giant mallet, though. I think she would enjoy that way too much.
It would squeak too.
That's almost a given considering.
Yeah.
And then just for fun, you can put on your Plague Doctor masks from the first game. Or the first chapter, anyway.
Yeah.
That would be weirdly horrifying. Plague
Just a
Doctor
little.
clowns?
All right. So big ship, 3 decks, 100 feet long. Great big forge right in the middle of it. Yeah.
I remember it was a cargo ship originally.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is just literally designed for storage and would take a lot of work to redo to do something else with it. But you could. And if you got a powerful enough Spelljammer helm, you could use that to power it and switch out the forge and keep the ship if you want it. I'm just saying you'll be on the rock and roll for a while because that's a lot of construction.
It's also a lot of money. So we'd have to find a source of that without hunting down clowns.
You just lock Tinker in there and tell her to fix it. Every once in a while, throw a cheese ball in. She'll be fine.
You still need people to move the things that she's telling them to move.
Maybe you can get her Ravnik and, contact to deliver.
Get them to invest.
That's a possibility, too.
Actually, that's not a bad thought. Instead of selling it outright to them,
You can tease them with your infinite negative energy source. But, if you bring that up, they're going to want it.
Yeah.
Pretty much if you bring up an item like that to any group, they're going to want it.
I almost wonder if there's a way to connect that through the forge so that it provides the energy, but that's just bad thoughts.
What kind of items would you forge in the negative plane? I'm sure they would all be great.
Yeah.
Raven
Devastating.
stuff.
You're like, I don't even remember carving skulls into the hilt of this sword. It's so weird.
Oh.
Like, we'd be making Frankensteins and things like that.
Flesh golems for everyone.
Like, no matter what you do, the entire ship will always have a certain Skeletor motif. Does anyone ever wonder, like, all these necromancers and evil people and their giant skull-shaped castles with their skull thrones? They like approach the artist to build these things. They're like, I'm gonna need skulls, and what else is scary? Something really frightening. How about like a demon skull? Yes, horns on it, brilliant.
Yeah.
That is my every evil character voice. That throw it all together. All right. So, as y'all are pondering all this, Sano is going to ask if y'all will care if he goes like to look around. He has just basically an iron stick that he's using as a cane.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is willing to go walkabout. He's heard of the rock and roll. He knows what's up.
Yeah, I mean, he's welcome to do so. We were never holding him prisoner or anything. So
You get the impression that even though you've told him that, he's never been 100% certain what was going on here. And in his defense, you are an eclectic bunch.
Not wrong.
I can absolutely understand understand that.
All right. So yeah, he's going to go take a walk, and Eudora's going to say, I think I'm going to make sure he's okay, and she's going to follow him.
Good idea.
I suggest that she keeps her hood up, but wish them well.
She looks at you for a moment. It's like, yeah, like she has to hide her ears, and it's kind of an insult to have to hide what you are.
Aw.
But she also sees the logic of it.
I mean, I told her what she was worth, and in terms of bounty and such. So it's up to her, but she's got the info.
That'd be a good down payment on a new Spelljammer helm.
Oh, I was going to say, well, when she's out of ear range, for one rabbit, we could employ a pretty large crew.
Just save the foot, hang it over the dash.
Oh,
Too dark.
I think that then it's more of an albatross than a rabbit foot at that point.
yeah.
Well, the thing specifically said she had to be alive. It didn't say anything about all the bits.
So how much do you think they would pay for a foot? Never mind. We should. We've got some important decisions to make. Should we?
We do.
We're at the Rock of Brawl, and we've been here for hours, and we haven't gone to a tavern yet. Who knows? Maybe we're not in an equipment problem. Maybe we're on a staffing problem.
Well,
Permission to go get drunk.
Yeah, go get drunk.
All right.
All right. From where you are, the
I could use
nearest
a drink,
tavern
too.
is actually very close. It's called the Happy Beholder.
Oh, let's do this.
Yeah, I see
Let's
the Happy
do this.
Beholder. Yeah, there it is.
Indeed. I think we need to go to Luigi's place there.
All right. The Laughing Beholder, also known as the Happy Beholder, is it looks like a fairly standard but a large tavern. On the outside, you see there are a couple of drunks that are kind of stumbling out. Some people look at them, the way you look when you see a drunk stumbling around. But nobody seems to be offended by their drunks walking on the streets because you're not on the best side of town. There are enough guards walking around this side of town that you don't, at the same time, you don't really feel like you're in danger. Beyond that, on the outside, it looks fairly normal as far as a inn or a tavern on a asteroid in space would look.
Dockside Tavern. All right. Well, let's go in. I'll even go in first.
Awesome. All right. As you enter the excuse me, hang on. Sorry, I really had to clear my throat. All right. As you enter the tavern, there is music playing. It's kind of an upbeat tune. There's no words to it. It's just a couple of entertainers just playing on their flutes. And most of the people are talking and eating, and it looks like a very, just cheery atmosphere. One thing that you cannot ignore, though, is behind the bar of this tavern is what is most definitely a beholder. If any of your characters have never heard of one, it's a giant fleshy sphere with a huge grinning mouth, one single eye in the middle, and then extending from its head, or the ball, because it is just a ball, are another bunch of tentacles, each with an eyeball at the end of them. It is a crazy sight. And you see this creature as it it looks towards a rack of glassware, and a glass floats off of that, goes over to a tap, and the tap turns itself, fills the glass with beer, and the glass gives itself, and the eye is moving, and the beholder is moving the whole time, watching this happen, and the glass gives itself to a man who had just apparently ordered a drink. And the big floating thing is just really deep. Oh, how is that for you? Is that what you want, Brilliant Ale? It's the best in the known spheres. And the man's like, thank you. And he quickly pays. Beyond that, everything else here seems pretty normal. It has kind of that Star Wars cantina-ness to it of just there's a lot of random alien races just as regular customers throughout the building. You see humans, of course, and elves and dwarves and gnomes, but you also see there's a centaur in a corner. There are more Gith. You see a couple of military hippo men, which I think y'all met one already. You've seen a GIF before. Mm-hmm. So like I said, there's just a lot of strange. There's one guy who looks like he's made out of slime that is roughly humanoid shape. There is a couple of stools open at the bar. There's tables become available and not available fairly quickly. It looks like strangers sit at the same long tables. It's not like small private tables, although there are small private booths, but none are currently open.
All right. Well, let's find somewhere to sit all together and see what.
The four of you can either sit at the bar, but you will have at least one other guy right next to you on the bar stools, or you can sit at a table on one end where it's just now being vacated. You might have to push the dishes and drinks aside from the previous group.
I'm gravitating to the table.
All right. Then as you go sit down, you hear that booming voice. Oh, welcome to the Laughing Beholder. I am Luigi. What can I get for you? And that is the beholder definitely talking to you, all of you. And you see him talking, but you also hear his booming voice in your heads in whatever language you spoke natively. So while you might speak common, like Tinker hears it in Sylvan, for example.
Mm-hmm. I could definitely use a good strong ale.
Pint of the dark stuff.
Well then, a brilliant ale it is. Anything else?
Anything fruity and hopefully sparkly.
I could make that happen for you.
With a little umbrella?
Of course. And as you say it and you picture in your head, he is able to recreate pretty much whatever drink you're asking for as things just fly off the shelves and begin making themselves. It doesn't take long to figure out that he is just making this happen as his little eye stalks, or each one is watching something move by itself.
Yeah, you get yourself a Cosmospolitan.
It comes with like a little plastic sword, and she's totally swinging that thing around.
I love it.
And the little umbrella goes in her hair, but it's almost like a hat.
You also hear, "You look hungry."
I was just about to ask, what do we got on the menu?
We have beef imported from the world below. The cows down there are delicious, but also we have, he begins listing off some exotic meats. And of course, eggs, if you don't eat meat. Eggs aren't meat.
They're what meat grows from. Sure, I'll order food.
All right. Basically, y'all, unless you order something specific, y'all are going to basically get beef steaks.
Sure. Steak night.
Right.
Must be
and
Thursday.
There's a sauce that is spread around, as in the bottle flies near you, not the sauce itself is spread about. And you all are welcome to partake. You're pretty sure you're not going to want to try and ditch on this particular bill.
No. What's the cost?
Hang on. There is a list for costs for this stuff. I have to find it.
I don't know. All this stuff seems pretty pricey to me.
The steak and the drinks. Basically, right now, y'all are only looking at about 3 silver a person.
Okay.
If you order anything super fancy or expensive,
So, okay. Dozen silver. We can do that.
I have a question. While Luigi is he's looking at us and sending these things our way, am I able to use my own invisible mage hands while he is looking at me? Like test it, see if I can just raise my glass.
no, it does not. It is just automatically off.
Yeah. Cool.
It's what an interesting random question to ask for no reason. No, you try to mage hand that glass over to you, and it looks like you're just trying to use the force and not,
So like normal.
like every kid who's ever seen a Star Wars movie, you try to use the force and the glass does not come.
You just can't force these things.
The next thing we know, we see Kios trying to do a Kamehameha wave.
We're gonna get a pun jar for this channel.
Need a couple more levels first.
After the food is served and y'all are enjoying your meal, a kind of sketchy looking fellow comes and just kind of settles up next to you, and he looks over for a moment, and Luigi nods, because apparently this guy's been here enough to know that you can just think at the beholder and get your order. And if you hadn't already thought about trying that, you now know that'll probably work. And a pint of ale will begin floating towards him as he looks at y'all. So, new here?
Yeah, just
Ish.
passing through. It's been a while.
Yeah, that's what I thought years ago. Careful, the city will just take you in sometimes. So what brings you?
Well, our ship just barely made it, so we're grateful for that. And your words are hitting me pretty heavy because we're not actually sure how far we're going to get away from the rock with that ship at the moment. But, that's life. You don't know where the journey's going, do you?
So your ship in need of repair then, huh?
Or a crew. I don't know. It's above my pay grade. Decisions like that.
Well, who makes the decisions? He kind of looks around the group. This guy is kind of just like me at the moment, dark hood, pulled up forward enough that you can barely make out much other than a nose. He definitely has a nose. So it's not Voldemort. Beyond that, you're not real sure what you're looking at. He has a fleshy, maybe human nose. From the voice, he doesn't sound like elves have a certain higher, more melodic touch to their voice that he definitely doesn't have. He's too tall and his frame isn't wide enough to be a dwarf. So definitely human-like, if not human. Which around here,
I'll
almost
turn
stands
around
out.
and I'll be like, who's asking?
Well, I'm glad you asked me. Who was asking? I appreciate your forthrightness, sir. My name, Lodestar, Johnny Lodestar. I can hook you up with anything you need in the Rock of Brawl. Are you the one who makes the decisions?
I'm just thinking of that old skit where Ernie is some guy who comes up to Ernie and is like, "Hey, you want an 8? That's an 8." Shh. Yeah. You want to know how many, you want to know something, you hang an 8 up on the wall. I forget. It's been a long time since I've seen that. Anyways, need something. What are you selling?
I'm kind of a connections guy. I mostly work off tips. Basically, I find out what people need. I find out who can help them, and I bring people together.
Ah.
Like right now, I have people that are looking for adventuring types that they're willing to go on missions that earn money. I got people that are looking for people that'll be willing to participate in experiments.
That seems.
I don't know a lot about how that works, but if you have an open mind and need some coin,
I turn back to you guys and I'm like, these are like off the books missions. This is for people who want shady stuff. This is for people who want to like. Yeah, I don't know about this. And I lost my British. I lost my Cockney accent. Let me get that back. My
fell
Cockney
into my
accent.
beer. Hang on.
There we are. My Cockney accent's back now. I had to fine tune my little larynx. What do you guys think? Are we ready to talk to Johnny Hot Feet over here about a mission, or are we still? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we can get some better prospects than whatever this guy's got.
Yeah.
I mean, we are
Also, I'm only
adventurers.
sitting like one person away from you.
I'm talking about him right in front of him, and I'm like, I mean, we are adventurers. He's got us pegged there, but I mean, we're good adventurers, not underhanded, terrible murder hobos, I guess.
I wasn't asking you to do anything like that. It's weird that you went there.
Sorry,
Well,
Johnny. You understands the elves get a little skittish when you're speaking direct in a place like this. I like your style.
Well, you realize the bartender Luigi over there can look inside of our minds. So if I was coming over here to cause problems in his bar, I'd probably be dead. And you all
That doesn't make you more trustworthy.
all of you get this moment after he says that, where you hear a voice in your head say, "Correct." Just this loud, "Yes." That is what would happen. And you hear not so much with words, just a sort of emotional agreement.
That still doesn't make him more trustworthy, though.
I know, like we don't know Luigi either. He could be like your second cousin. He could be like.
It's not even the point. If he's an arranger, who's he arranging with? And then he walks away and his hands are clean, but
That's what I'm thinking, right?
it's somebody random comes up to you, they're pretty much guaranteed to not be reputable.
Like
Just not make new friends very often.
next thing we know, we're off looting some sacred elven artifact that's actually good for the elves, and we're putting it in the hands of some like scummy necromancer or something like that. So
Wasn't you the
Love
one
it.
talking about a patron?
So, Johnny, what is our assurance that the things that we're doing are going to a good cause over here?
It's not like I wouldn't let you meet the people that you'd be working for.
What's your cut?
Well, of course I get a cut. I mean, that's how that works. When you're hiring and you're looking for people with specific talents, as an agent, I think 15% is pretty much fair.
15% of what?
The cut depends on who's paying who. If you're looking to hire people, I will find people. If you're looking to buy things, I will find the things. I would give 15%. But if you're looking to get hired, well, then they pay me.
You have anyone that's currently paying you to get placed somewhere?
Least, I don't know what you mean.
You got a waiting list? Seems like you know everybody around.
Ah, yeah, I do. Like I said, I have currently I have a couple people that are looking for. Well, I have a captain that's looking for a crew, but it sounds like y'all already got a boat, so you're not into that. I have I have a fellow that's looking for people willing to aid him in biological experiments. I don't know what that means. I'm not going to tell you it's necessarily safe, but I can tell you I'm not trying to endanger you. I'm merely passing on the message. And then, yeah, I got somebody who's, I mean, I can get you the list of all the bounties that are out there, but I've also got people that are looking for items that are missing and things like that. That is probably all speed. But you tell me what you want to do. But if you're looking for something, let me know and your price range, and I'll see what I can find for you.
I mean,
You
isn't
guys
there an
interested in some
adventurers guild?
salvage?
What'd you say?
You guys interested in some salvage?
I mean, that or like getting stolen merchandise back is fine by me, but I mean, isn't there an adventurers guild for that kind of stuff? Isn't there like a more reputable place we can go and get matched with jobs?
Well,
Like an
my
adventurer
fee
temp
is
agency?
less than the Adventurers Guild.
Your what?
My fee is less than the Adventurers Guild. There are those that work with me because I don't charge as much.
But of course,
I don't do the same vetting, to be fair, which means if y'all got criminal, records or bounties out for you or whatever, as long as you're honest about what you will do, I ain't gonna rat you out. If you had a bounty out on you and you went to the Adventurers Guild, that could be a problem.
We're all upstanding citizens here, aren't we?
Oh, no accusations, man. No accusations. I'm just saying that's how I work. That I can help people that can't go to the guild for whatever reason. I mean, I don't know. Maybe y'all got just simple possession, bounties. Like you didn't know what your cargo was and whatever, and therefore, people are out for you. And I'm here to help the average Joe who has other problems and can't just go hang out at the guild. Also, the guild guys are kind of snobs.
Yeah, that's true.
As far as me approaching you, if you say it seems sketchy, I'm going to point out it's the only way my business can work is meeting people.
So this experimenter that you keep talking about, is that someone you know personally? And at this point, Kios is trying to look under the hood.
Okay. You like your insight check, or did you have some magic involved there?
No, I mean he's got an eye patch, so he's literally and he's
Oh, you
really
mean
tall.
under the literal hood?
Like
Okay.
literally trying to see.
I don't know
his
why
face.
I thought metaphor there immediately, but no, I am wearing a hood. So, all right, you can make a perception check while he answers your question. Absolutely. Yeah, I do know the person. What I can tell you is that he's definitely human, or at least just the right shape to be a human. Which they don't all come the exact same shape. So
And he's not green, so they all kind of look alike to me. Got it.
yeah.
I've seen
He
some
doesn't have a
pretty-
green nose or anything. He has a fleshy colored nose.
I've seen some pretty round humans in my life.
Well, we're not going to body shame anybody here. All right. So, yeah, the guy you're looking for is a fairly interesting fella. He's these guys. Are you familiar with a group, this race of people that say that they're the ones who taught art to the elves and all that? Nope. All right.
I look to the elves.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
No one can be taught
Howard's
art.
like scrolling
Art
through
lives
notes
in
real
your
quick. Hang on.
soul.
Right. I honestly thought I would be able to find this a little bit faster. Give me a sec. Sorry. That's not it. My gosh, I have so many notes. There's things that I was going to do that I forgot about. The Rygar. There they are. Found them. Woof. Took a long time to get down to there. All right. So this fella's a Rygar, right? Or I think it's a fella. I'm not 100%. Long red hair. Kind of, there's a word for it. You know, when you meet someone, you're like, I don't know if you're a male or a female. Whatever that word is, he's that.
Androgynous. Androgynous.
Yeah, that's the word. That literally is the word that it says next to this. But I figured this guy would be like this. Yeah, androgynous. Yeah, that's the guy. So apparently, he's looking to improve people, and he wants to know things about how people work. So people are kind of his art, and he's looking for volunteers to show up and be like a sketch pad. that's kind of what I was getting from his description. And like I say, I'm not the type of guy to try and ring people in to get killed or whatever. So if that sounds sketchy to you, I understand. But to my knowledge, he is not looking to kill anyone or anything like murdery, scary like that. Like, you know, I want to put your flesh on the wall like a picture. But he honestly thinks that he can improve people if he just had more time to experiment. And he needs people to try things for him so he can document what happens.
He's not human centipeding anybody.
No, that I don't know what that is, but it sounds awful because nobody needs that many legs. That's 100 legs. I know what Cinta means.
And rastipedes don't have that many legs.
So yeah,
Well,
if you're interested,
so what
I
kind
can
of,
totally hook you up with that guy.
What kind of item recovery things do you have?
All right. Well, for item recovery, currently I've got he thinks about it, he actually pulls something out and references it, puts it back. All right. So somewhere on a planet not too far from here, it's actually in this space. It's one of the moons of this planet that's below the rock and ball right now. There's something that it's either a crystal sword or a glass sword. The translation's a little sketchy. They want it back for reasons relating to their religion. And then the accusation is that there's an item that is stolen that is on a ship, and you'd have to be able to raid a ship to get it, to recover the stolen item.
See, I told you, boarding ram, but no one listens to me.
Sorry, what was that?
I like the moon thing. If we're gonna do one of those, get something for we'll check out the religion, see if they're like, you know,
Who are they a religion of?
at least neutral people.
Oh, some sort of moon goddess, elven thing. I don't know a lot about elven religions. I don't think the sword is a sword. I think my understanding was that sword is a symbol. Like if it's made of glass, it's not really supposed to be used in combat. It's like something else.
You know,
Like
the elven moon
symbol.
goddess that most elves worship. You know that one. The one.
Mm-hmm.
That you know, it's in the book. That
Yep.
one.
Yeah, you
I
know,
know.
Carillion Leviathan. That's her name.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. The one your mom would tell you stories about. That's the one. Say this. I think this might be fine.
I would be interested in meeting with them.
The one your mom. That's the one.
All right. I can arrange that meeting. So I'm Johnny Lodestar, and you are?
Del Starwind.
Vital Juice.
All right. Now, when I meet them, who speaks for the group, or does your group have a name?
I don't know. What's our name? Do we have a name?
We're the crew of the Melina.
Yeah, that's what we are.
Yeah.
All right. Crew of the Melina. Very well. I will pass that on. Are you docked here?
Yeah.
in the Molina.
Oh, yeah.
I assume.
Yep.
All right. I should be able to get back to you by tomorrow with that information. No problem.
Excellent.
And in the
You will-
meantime, I'll drink my drink and eat my food and be very, very concerned.
He will make his way out. Sure, no one wants to go and be experimented on by an alien called a Rygar.
That sounds like not a thing I like to
I'd
do.
love to meet a Rhaegar. I don't want to be experimented on by one, thank you.
I've got the wrong character for that story.
So yeah, I had some plot leaks like set up. I just want to see which one y'all would find at.
I love the race of state of David Bowie's in space. They're like my favorite.
Yeah, the original entry that I read for them, it said that they blew up their entire world for art.
Mhm.
They're fantastic.
Oh, they're a thing. They're all kinds of thing.
They blew up their planet for art. Carl, I will not apologize for art. I will not-
You think how interesting
my.
you might have looked though to the rigger.
I know. That's why I want to stay away from them. Thank you.
I mean, if they blew up their planet for art and they're like, and one of them's like, I want to like improve a person. I don't know what that means to a person who believes that planet destruction is art. So
Oh, it just means you get a new feat for no reason. Oh, and you look different.
Maybe 2 or 3 of them, depending on how he's feeling.
But he did promise not a full 100 legs because that would be a human centipede, and that's not happening.
Yeah. They'll turn you into like a minotaur. Like
Well,
a
you know-
centaur, but the lower half is also a human body.
That's how I figured you were going to go with that one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, have you ever wondered what it would be like if they went the other way around? But what if you have the top half of like a mermaid and the bottom half of like a minotaur? So you're like a dude.
You're all kinds of messed up is what you are.
I mean, like, you for the most part would just look like a regular dude. I don't remember if minotaurs have hooves or feet. I have to look that one up.
no, minotaurs have hooves. They don't have feet, usually. Sometimes they do, though.
I don't remember.
Depends on it. Yeah, it depends on which depiction you're going with.
Really does. Like, everybody does it differently.
Like, if you're talking about the Minotaur from Crete, that had human feet.
Yeah, he had the
But
bottom of bottom
Yep.
half was a human, top half was a bull.
But if you're talking like, say, a Minotaur from Krynn, they definitely had hooves, and they were more of a humanoid bull than.
Yeah, if you add Greek mythology in, you get a lot more footed
Yeah.
Yep.
minotaurs.
Like
Although
satyrs have the
you still
bottom.
get the hoofed ones.
Satyrs have the bottom half of a goat and the top half of a guy. So they have hooves.
But their bottom
Yeah.
half is just the back half of a goat.
Yes.
Whereas centaurs have everything up to the neck of a horse.
Can you hear her?
Nope,
Yes.
can't hear a thing.
A little.
Hi,
Yes,
Crystal.
I can.
Hello.
Hi.
All right. So, what would you like to do? You finish your meal. Hopefully, you pay for your meal. I think you cut off.
I did
me
pay
earlier.
for the meal.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the
I
group
mean,
funds
it's
here,
funny to watch people try and like split, and then like their feet just leave the ground as they're headed for the door.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to try and cheat.
Not
a
with this.
beholder.
No.
No. No. I've heard of them. I don't want to make one angry at me. If this one's willing to be friendly and happy, I will pay a reasonable price for this.
It's an unknown
12 silver
whore
is
from
good.
beyond the plains. He's the bartender. Would you like to skip on your meal? It is an unknown whore from beyond earthly, like, reason and logic.
I don't know. His name's Luigi. How bad could he be? Oh, wait. That's an Italian name. For being kind of racist, that's the mob. He could be part of a beholder mob.
Like, a beholder's like, hey, we're dating now. Don't date anybody or I'll kill you. Do you date somebody else now? Are you trapped forever in a relationship with a beholder? What were you thinking?
Whatever it was, he knows.
Well, I think if you're doing anything that qualifies as an eldritch horror, you screwed up at the beginning.
There's a dating sim where you date Cthulhu-like creatures. They exist.
Anyway.
Corey has too much time on his hands. Aren't you happily married? What's going on?
Can I not enjoy a good dating sim every once in a while?
Right. That's all.
All right. So, what are y'all up to next? Head back, sleep, wait till Johnny shows up. You got anything else you want to do?
Well, I mean, we should probably head back to the ship because that's where our beds are.
Yep.
I don't know. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to try and sort out, look at?
Are we buying a new ship? Is that what we're doing?
Well,
I mean-
tomorrow we'll meet with some dwarves, we'll meet with some elves, and see what offer we like.
All right.
I don't necessarily want to sell this, but see what's on the table.
So what are we gonna do about the gate to the evil negative plane of?
That
It's
is
the
a
shadow
question,
stone.
isn't it?
Yeah. I can't like rip it out or anything. Apparently, if we try to do that, it'll leak again. And
I thought we took it apart and had destroyed it. But,
no, we couldn't. That was the opposite of what we did. We fixed it so it wouldn't like leak.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you had. I think Dell had. I think it was Dell had placed like
Oh yeah, we capped
something
it.
else.
There's a cap.
Yeah,
There's
we
a cap
capped
in it, so it can't turn on, not by accident or anything, as well as we know.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's something we can destroy.
If it did turn on, then somebody on the negative plane would suddenly have access to a wooden circle. Well, that's new.
So here's the thing: is this portal supposed to be like an extra power source for the ship? Can we turn it on and like power the ship with negative energy? Is that what it's supposed to do?
See, that's what I was kind of wondering about when I was saying connect it through the forge or whatever.
I
What did
will remind y'all, especially because Tinker would definitely remember this. It wasn't hooked up to the ship originally. It's more like something happened to the ship, and the case it was in broke, and it broke, and that opened the portal incorrectly. And the energy flowing through it was now creating a new power source that was creating all the bad things that were happening around the ship. But it was never actually attached to the forge or anything.
Right. Is it? Can we remove this thing from the ship?
Yeah, it's in a box.
Oh, cool. Excellent. Well, we can just put it on our new ship then. We can. It belongs in a museum. We'll get it stored by top men.
Top men.
Okay, good. As long as we can move it from place to place, I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mobile.
What about our autognomes? Are they like attached to this ship? Do they want to stay with this ship? What are their wants and needs and desires?
You
And...
want to ask them?
That's a
Yes,
good
I
question.
would. Hi, I don't. What are their names? Tink. What are their names?
Out of character, I don't remember, but
They have.
I tell him.
What are your
cool.
names?
I had them written down
The
somewhere.
only thing I think of when I think of them are like they're just the burbles.
Yeah. Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
If you don't know what burbles are,
I know what burbles are. I remember the Thundercats.
Yeah, they're from Thundercats. They're little like half bear, half mechanical guys that build things, and they're wonderful.
I lost their names. Dang it! I know they had names.
Heskus.
One of them was Nomus, and I don't remember the other one.
Heskus.
Nomus and Heskus? Okay.
Nomus and Heskus, excellent. Well, Nomus and Heskus, we're thinking about selling the ship, but you guys were on the ship way longer than we were, and we would like to know your opinion on the ship and what you want and all of the things. Are you attached to this ship, or can you serve on a new ship, or what? Let us fill us in on what your thoughts are.
We are capable of serving on any ship.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're not attached to this one then.
No, just attached to each other.
Do you
Yeah.
do you need this ship? Is this ship like do you feel a kinship for it, or would you like to serve on a different ship?
I am attached to this. He goes, he pulls a button off the ship, and he puts it away.
Right, that's yours now. Is that the button that activates the electrical field, by the way?
It is. Actually, yeah, he would actually grab that. So it's a lever. He would detach it and take the lever.
Excellent. Well, maybe can we install the electrical field on our new ship? What if our new ship's made of wood? Then it wouldn't be electrified, would it?
It would eventually catch fire.
Probably quickly.
Maybe we can attach the lever to another task. I'm sure the autognome will enjoy it just the same.
This ship is mostly made of stone, but if you ever go and inspect it, they ran copper wires through the stone to make it so they had that field.
Heskus, Nomus, we're probably gonna want to sell this ship, but you don't have to come with us. You can go make your own destinies and stuff. We'll give you a cut of the sale of this ship, but you're welcome to come with us onto the new ship if you want.
We would like to serve on a ship.
Excellent, excellent. How about all ship? Would you like to serve on that one?
Affirmative.
Excellent. All right, we've done it, folks. We've done it.
We have droids.
I will shake their hand and I say, well then, we've got ourselves a deal. Do we need to make ourselves a charter?
You know, probably a good idea at some
That's
point.
Probably a good idea. I like the idea.
Hey, has Sano come back?
No sign of Eudora or Sano yet.
Okay.
They're probably fine.
Yeah. I don't have a way to check in on them, so.
Sending stones are on the shopping list.
Yeah.
Okay, we got that taken care of. We talked. Oh, what about our companion that we have?
Sano?
Thano, yeah.
Yeah, I
He
just
and
asked
Eudora
about
went for a walk.
Oh, okay. Well, good. When they come back, we'll ask him what he wants to do. I'm sure he wants to go back to his navy, you would think.
maybe.
We don't know.
But he's
That
welcome to crew on our new ship. He doesn't get a cut of the sale of this one though. He has no claim to this. But yeah, I would definitely given the autognomes a cut of the sale of the ship. That's
It's the only responsible thing to do.
I know, right?
That's not too important since it looks like you are going to keep them with you.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Which means we can get a better ship.
All right. So the night passes, unless you only have something else you need to do.
No.
All right. pretty early the next morning, like about 10 in the morning, just shortly after breakfast, you hear the doom 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 on the hull, which is coming from the area where the ramp is. So it seems like a normal place to hear it,
Yeah.
not like some random attack.
All right.
And whoever opens it up, we'll see. Garrulus and Hilda, Ironbanger. That's their last name. Not that I don't think they said it, but they're the Ironbangers.
Morning.
Oh, good morning. So we've talked it over, and we have 2 offers for you. We could take just the forge. It'd be a lot of work. We take the forge with its other helm attached and set you up with a right proper Spelljammer for a ship this size. We'll do all the work to take the forge out and hook in your new Spelljammer. And in addition, we give you the merchandise you need. You give us the merchandise we need, and we call it even. The other option would be we could take the ship off your hands and give you cash.
Allow us a moment to discuss this.
All right.
Well,
So, like, do we take the cash and buy a used ship, or do we take the cash and go see a shipwright and get them to like bang us out a new ship? Or how do we do this?
honestly, I'm most inclined to just let them take the forge helm and other helm thing and give us a single helm that can fly the whole thing, and we just keep this bird if
I think
That's-
if they just want the to take it out and then call it even, I'm perfectly fine with that.
yeah, I mean, it leaves us with a usable helm because that's part of the deal. They do all the work for the recovery of the forge. We keep the ship that we got, which pretty much solves the our earlier concerns.
And we pilot that with our spell slots. With our spells, then we just like jam it with spells.
Yes, I sit on the helm and I fly it using my
yeah.
magic.
Well, I got some magic too. We can all help out.
I can show you how
Chaos
to
has
do
got
it.
some magic. Tank's got nothing. Adora's got nothing.
So I like that option myself, but what are your guys' thoughts? I suppose it depends on how much money they're offering and what we could do with that.
Yeah.
I guess the considerations is how long we would be here versus how much gold they were offering. I have a feeling that we get a better value in the trade because, like, dollar value on this probably isn't as good. But we should, we can get those numbers. But I think that if we can just get it, usually if you do in trade, I think you're always getting a better value. That's probably a Gith Yankee saying or something. They're not Ferengi. I don't know if they have those in that position.
Probably a Get the Yankee thing.
Tinker, what's your thoughts? You've put a lot of work into this, girl.
At this point, I'm assuming she's probably fairly drunk. And so
No,
she's
this is
like,
the next morning.
Yes.
This is the next morning.
So you're fairly hungover.
I'm fairly hungover. Sorry. She's like, yes. She's like, lots of work, yes, but clutched together versus, yeah. That's pretty much as far as she gets.
So we're changing out our power drive.
Basically.
Let's sign the documents and get it done.
All right.
Decisions.
All right.
All right, we'll go back to the dwarves. The hammer thrust, the iron pounders.
Bangers.
No, god dang it! Iron
Hangers.
bangers. That's the one.
He said that, didn't he?
I did.
Why couldn't you correct me?
I
Why
did
would
say
we?
it.
I didn't hear you.
Anyway.
I'm sorry. Iron bangers. That's right. Iron bangers and mash.
Right.
Yeah. Tell me you mock their name to their faces. That could change things.
I
That'll
don't
go
want
well.
to do that. All right, we'll go see them.
All right. I mean, they're just in the other room waiting for you to answer.
Okay, we'll go back in. It's like we've made a decision. Both offers are very, very generous, and we're very happy. We think the first deal is the one we'd like to take. You can take our forge and replace it with a standard Spelljammer, and we'll start the work as soon as we can.
All right.
I mean,
Well, that's what we'll do then. I reckon I'll just be calling my people and have them come in and start work. Anything we need to know about or watch out for? Do you have any attack animals, anything like that?
The ferry.
We've got a bit of dangerous cargo. We'll make sure to move it out of the off the ship and out of the way so that it doesn't cause any problems.
All right. Good. How long do you need to do that before I send my crew in?
Probably have it. All we need is to arrange storage, and we should probably be able to have it done in a day.
The dockmaster will be able to arrange to have stuff offloaded if that's all you're needing.
Yeah, offloaded and stored safely.
All right, then. I will get word back. Here's that to shake, I guess at this point, Dell's hand.
Just for a general idea, roughly how long are we looking at for completion of the work?
I mean, they're going to disassemble the entire forge, then hook you up with a proper Spelljammer. You're looking at a couple of weeks.
All right.
right. I guess we're gonna have to do some
Good,
work
good.
in town for a while.
Yep. Let's make it happen.
All right, we're gonna have to get some wood and
Okay.
really.
Hilda's got to present her clipboard with a bunch of forms on it that she needs somebody to sign.
Oh, great. Okay, start signing.
She shows
What's
you how
it
to use a
written
pencil.
in? What language is it written in?
A dwarven, of course.
Oh.
So Tinker's going to be the one that can.
And-
Read it,
Interpreting.
and then when Tinker says it's okay, I'll sign it after Tinker. Like,
Tinker, I know that you have no attention problems and you're good with legalese. So this should be a breeze for you.
She's like, kill me now.
All right. If you'd like to read through the notes and actually try and peruse it and make sure there's no scams in there, you can go ahead and make I'm going to say intelligence, unless you have something that would imply a proficiency with bureaucracy. I'm going to say straight intelligence.
Investigation?
If you're skilled in it, yeah, sure, go ahead.
wow. Hey.
Nice.
She actually
Okay.
He's like, it's really not all that different from looking at schematics.
she actually has a background in Squire.
Reading a tech manual.
Esquire.
All right. So, Tinker, as you're going through it, I guess that is probably how it starts. You start looking at this as almost like the schematics of a deal. And as you start to imagine it in that way, you're able to keep your focus as you read through. And there's some stuff in here that's a little sketchy. None of it is outright like, the opposite of what they said. But they're not guaranteeing their work in basically installing the new Spelljammer. Like, if anything goes wrong with it, that's your problem. They need what they're taking is going to be, you have a minor Spelljamming helm attached to a forge. They are taking all of that. And of course, everything attached between. So they're basically going to be scraping out a good portion of your ship, so that they can rebuild it somewhere else. So they're justifying their need for all that is to rebuild it. So they can, you would imagine also, as the person who built this, the connection at least, who rigged this, they are going to totally rip off your idea so that they can have forge jammers in smaller ships with smaller crews, which is not a thing that currently exists. So the fact that you made that a possibility has them intrigued.
Tinker is going to add some to the legalese and go, basically wants to kind of copyright it with her name. Basically be like the Tinker method.
Are you going to attempt to actually alter the deal without them seeing, or are you just going to tell them?
Oh, I'm going to tell them.
Oh, okay. All right. Persuasion. He's altering the deal.
This is
she doesn't alter it further.
It's a Tinker Forge.
They're going to come back at you with basically how you took already existing ideas and basically drew a line between them, and they don't feel that you've earned your whole method.
Is that it, Tink? Is that the only thing you're saying here?
Yeah. It's obvious that, she's just looking at it as a vanity project, basically.
Is there anything else that might be a problem in here?
Not that I know of, unless... What? I forget.
All right, I guess I'm signing it then.
Nailed it.
Uh-huh.
He told you what was wrong.
I'm sorry. It went in one ear and out the
Apparently.
other after. I was like, wait, she would want to do the thing and the stuff.
Yeah, the vanity thing, but not the thing that actually helps everybody.
No, because that's literally how my brain works. Why do you think I wrote Tinker the way I did?
I think that this is
I
great
guess I
role-playing.
sign it and we get no warranty.
She's like, warranty.
On the
That's
upside,
literally her opinion because she basically voids warranties.
It's like,
Left, right,
oh,
and
there's
center.
absolutely no guarantee that the ship will work afterwards. But hey, you're stealing my idea! No! It's signed. It's done.
Attention issues. Hyperfixations.
I don't think that could have worked out more accurately. I think that's the dice described the whole situation perfectly.
I mean, that's literally how my brain works. That's why I did it. I'm sorry.
This is great.
I
You know
I
what,
need popcorn.
fantastic.
I'm loving it.
Tinker, if you didn't already have an
She's
inspiration,
ADHD embodied.
Tinker, if you don't currently have an inspiration, you get one.
Y'all can bite me.
Tinker
Keith
is
is dying laughing
bite-sized.
because he knows I am literally like this all the time. Shut up. I know where you live.
Uh-huh.
But no, I'm in denial that this is the way I am.
All right, well, that's
so-
done. If it breaks, Tink will have fun fixing it.
Exactly. That's why she's like, it's not a problem. Like I said, she voids warranties. If you undo this panel and tinker with it,
The warranty will be void like 1 weekend. We're gonna
If that, she'll be like, "Oh, what does this do?"
what
Oh, we
pull
don't
off
need
this
that.
sticker and I gotta undo the screws and start overclocking it. Whatever you do with ships.
So we'll have to find some accommodations, and we'll talk to the dockmaster about our cargo.
Just get some
And
We'll just get some wood and we'll like put it in a big crate, and no one has to know
Well,
what's
it's
in
in
there.
we've got it crated up.
Oh yeah,
He said that we've got it crated up. So that's easy enough. And yeah.
All right. There's another knock or banging on the hull.
Hello.
What is it?
What do you
Hey,
have us chickens?
So, Doc Mister said this was the Molina. And you look like the right folks.
Johnny.
Yep. So, what's going on? Y'all ready to get to work, or did you have work?
We're getting some work done on the ship first. Probably be a couple of weeks, but if the job still holds for the priests, we'll be certainly be interested in meeting them.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean it's there. So I looked it up, by the way. The name is the saloon. I went and I talked to them, told them I had some people that might be interested. Wanted to get you details. Saloon is the name of the moon god or goddess. Doesn't really matter. Not the other one. Like I say, I'm not big on the elven religions, but they seem like pretty straightforward folks, and they just want their sword, which is it's on the moon. They have their own palaces on the moon, but the sword isn't where it's supposed to be. It's somewhere else on the moon.
Okay.
And I can get you the rest of that info as soon as you say you are in. So what do you need before you make your decision?
To talk to them. Talk to the clients.
Definitely.
So you just want to know what you're going to get paid. All right. That's fair. So the return of the sword, they're offering 1,000 gold. They will also they'll also cough up a little bit for the amount of time it takes you and all that. So in other words, if I tell them I hire you today, it takes you a week. We'll cover your like food and lodging or whatever you need. Minor supplies. They're not going to buy you like magic items and all that, but if you need some reasonable equipment to go get this thing, then yeah, sure, whatever.
All right. Well, at the moment, we're going to have to arrange transport because our own ship will be offline for the duration. So we'd need to arrange transport to the moon and back afterwards. I'm sure that there are commercial liners that can take us that way.
I can cover your transport. You're good to go.
Team, thoughts?
I want to meet these priests to see if they're on the up and up. I want to look them in the eye. It's not about price. It's about principle.
Well,
Seems
I guess
reasonable.
I can arrange for your transport to the moon either way. Because it's just two different locations, both on the moon.
Oh, okay. I see.
All right.
And apparently your pile here isn't going anywhere, is what you're telling me.
Not for a little bit.
All right, then. I can go arrange it. Y'all want to leave today? You want to leave tomorrow? What do you want?
It'll have to be tomorrow.
Just got just get our affairs in order, and we'll be set to leave tomorrow. Ship out.
All right. Then I will see you tomorrow. Gonna come early. If that's all right with y'all. I need to get stuff done. I got other things to do.
All right.
All right. He turns and leaves.
So
And
we're
with
gonna
that, I was just gonna say we only got like 20 minutes left. Y'all can still role play,
Sure.
but I think that before we actually go to the moon, we will wait until next game so we can bring Sarah back.
That's exactly what
Sounds
my
good
key
to
concern
me.
is. We don't want to
Yes.
abandon Eudora,
Yeah.
and we'll want to make sure that Sano either is set up reasonably, or if he wants to come and is in any kind of shape, I'm sure he's welcome. But
Hit them with his iron stick.
I want to Sano and the Nomus and Heskis, we're going to have to make arrangements for them anyway. If Sano doesn't want to stay with our crew long term, then we can toss him like 5 gold or whatever and say have a nice life, but offer him a position with the crew when we get back or whatever. Maybe
5 to 15 gold is actually exactly what a person should have as they begin as a level 1 adventurer anywhere in the multiverse of D&D.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he could babysit Nomus and Heskis while we're gone, maybe, or
Well, that's true.
whatever, right? But either way, we're gonna need to cross those T's and dot those I's as well before we take off and make arrangements for this portal.
Yes.
The
Are we,
storage
are we
bit.
giving
Yeah.
are we giving everybody positions?
When we get the ship back?
Y'all can start discussing your positions now if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that I'm the primary helmsman as the biggest as the main caster.
Right. You already,
I think I put on the paperwork for the dockmasters that
I'm
we
the
made you the captain.
yeah, that I'm the captain. Though if in a charter we should actually like make it a voting position.
Oh yeah, but
But
I needed to tell them something, and it was easier not to use my own name.
Tinker, of course, is our engineer. And then we have Adora and Kios, who are both very good fighters and both could be like, I don't know, is there like a fighting ship on a fighting role on a ship, like some sort of
Like
master
the
of
weapon
arms?
masters that deal with the cannons and the ballistas and stuff. Yeah,
Ah.
absolutely, there is.
The gunner, I
Combat
believe,
officers.
yeah, combat officers. Which Quijos was he was in the military, but he was always given orders. So, given the opportunity, he would
So-
cry or something.
Yeah, you'd definitely be boarding party.
If I'm not the captain, I'd be navigator.
Nothing to say you can't do both anyway.
Huh?
Nothing to say that you can't do both
I know we
anyway.
can't. Like a captain can also be the navigator, but if I'm not the captain, that's basically my thing. I know like the ins and outs. I'm a ranger. This is what I do. Like
Yeah. I've navigation and flying ships. That's definitely what I'm best for.
yeah, we made very similar concepts. I think.
In a lot of ways. In a lot of ways. That's okay. It's worked well.
Yeah.
It's convenient your skill sets aren't exactly the same, though.
No.
I'm a much better. Like he's more ranged. I'm much melee. He's got heal spells. I have like tracking spells.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we can go ahead and wrap it up there for this evening, unless there's anything else y'all need to add.
All right. No. Hey,
No, I think
everybody.
I'm good.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching out there. Doing your things out there. We love you. We'll see you next week. Or in 2 weeks, I think. Depending. We'll see. But anyways, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
All right. Good night.